Now let's turn to Texas, where new problems are popping up in the aftermath of Harvey. One hospital in Beaumont evacuated patients and stopped emergency services because flooding shut down the town's water system. And the government is starting to get an idea of the scope of the housing damage.
It looks like around about 100,000 affected homes. That's a big number. We're going to have 100,000 affected homes, all with different degrees of insurance, some with flood insurance, some underinsured, some uninsured. We'll have to address those on a case-by-case basis as we move forward.
And if that's not enough, the nation's largest refinery, which is in Port Arthur, Texas, reportedly may be closed for as long as 2 weeks. And the Colonial Pipeline, the biggest fuel system in the country, partially shutting down some lines. That caused gasoline futures to spike to the highest level in 2 years. Morgan Brennan has more.
As the floodwaters begin to recede, more critical infrastructure is feeling the effects of Hurricane Harvey.
The Colonial Pipeline has been shut down, for instance. That is a major deliverer of refined product to the southeastern United States. Gas prices are going to go up because of the cut in supply.
The Colonial Pipeline says outages at some of its supply points and a lack of actual product to move are causing disruptions. Roughly a quarter of U.S. refining capacity is offline in the Gulf right now, and that means fewer petroleum products moving around the country. Privately held Colonial is one of the biggest pipelines in the U.S., transporting more than 3 million barrels of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel per day to cities like Nashville, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and even New York. The company says 2 lines are down from Houston to Herbert, but operating east of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Deliveries, it warns, will, quote, be intermittent and dependent on terminal and refinery supply. But the goal is to return to service from Houston on Sunday. Still, experts say getting the energy complex up and running will be a complicated process.
We need to make sure we're able to move the product, to receive the product necessary to process, to refine. And so those are all coming into place now, particularly as they open up roads, as the ports now believe they can reopen soon. So it's a matter of variables that come together.
But it's not just Colonial. The Explorer pipeline, with northbound capacity of more than 500,000 barrels per day, is down from Houston to Tulsa, with ripple effects reaching as far as Chicago. It's all helping send gasoline prices soaring. AAA says the national average of a gallon of gas is now $2.45, or 10 cents higher than just a week ago. And in key states like Georgia and Missouri that's serviced by the pipelines, the moves have been even bigger. Experts say those prices will continue to climb, and in some cases, there may even be temporary shortages. In Dallas, drivers were already stocking up today, lining up at stations to fill up their tanks ahead of the holiday weekend, as the pain at the pump begins to get worse. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Morgan Brennan.